Hey guys, I'm back again with another ReZero video. This again is another theory. Considering season 2 is right around the corner, I wanted to sort of talk about this theory. It does contain spoilers, so again, if you do not want to be spoiled, I suggest you back away from this video. But without further ado, let's check out this theory. So what is the theory? The theory was thought of by a user called ShiftyFish on the ReZero Discord. And the theory is as follows. That during Arc 2 of the anime, a shaman attacked the Roswell Manor. This ended up getting Rem and Subaru cursed on different loops and resulted in them dying. That this attack was actually orchestrated by Al, and the goal and intention was to disrupt the Roswell Manor. The reason for this is because Al has a connection to the witch cult and may have wanted to weed out rival factions. So what is the evidence for this theory? Well, most of this evidence comes from the Assassin Sisters Diary Part 1 and 2, and some information does come from Arc 6. So initially, we know that in Arc 2, Meili was working alone, and she received her orders at the end of Arc 1. So in the Assassin Sisters Diary Part 1 and 2, we find out that after Elsa fails her attempt at killing Emilia, Subaru, and Felt, because Reinhard shows up, she escapes and she meets with Meili, and as they're escaping the capital, Meili receives her orders to cause destruction in Roswell's manor. So when we think about that a bit more, there's only suitable targets which can be Rem or Ram. Because keep in mind, Beatrice's existence is actually unknown. She's always in the Forbidden Archive. Subaru joined the mansion in Arc 2, so he can't be the target. It's highly unlikely that the target would be Roswell, because he's extremely strong, and it's unlikely that people would know that Emilia is with Roswell at this point. We know that Meili and Elsa work for Mother, who's in fact Capella, the witch cult Sin Archbishop of Lust. This is very, very heavily implied. It's pretty much guaranteed that Mother is Capella, but it's never 100% been stated yet. But you can work it out from the information. And the most important piece of information is that Meili fails in Arc 2 and tries to resume her mission in Arc 4. This is very important because this explains a reaction of Al in Arc 3. So, what is Al's motive? And we get some of this information from the side story, Ram's flirting refusal. So, we know that Al has a past involving Ram and potentially Rem because Al can recognize Ram. And Al knows what Ram's name is before Ram can even tell him. And this side story, Ram's flirting refusal, takes place in Arc 1. So Emilia's looking for her insignia that Felt stole, and we find out that Ram was actually with Emilia, but they got separated. And when Ram is doing her own business trying to find Emilia, she bumps into Al, and Al can recognize her, which is really weird. We know that Al has spoken to Regulus, or has tried to speak to Regulus during Arc 5. We also know that the Bariel Manor in which he resides has a witch's scent according to Rem in Arc 3. So we do know that there is a connection here with the witch's cult. We know that Al is mad and disgusted that Ram isn't dead in Arc 3. This was actually cut out of the anime, so for those of you that are confused, this is when Subaru goes to Priscilla for help, and after Priscilla kicks Subaru in the jaw, when they're leaving, they have a small conversation, and Al is extremely frustrated that Ram is not dead. And this ties into the previous point I was referring to when I said Melee fails in Arc 2, because that's going to get linked up shortly. So now we're going to use a bit of logic to sort of work out the timeline of events for this theory. So again, Al recognizes Ram during Arc 1. So Ram is alive. He then speaks and gives orders to Melee through his witch cult connections to create havoc in Roswell's domain in order to kill Ram. During Arc 2, Melee fails to kill anyone. However, she doesn't report back to Mother or Al. And we know this due to Arc 4 information. Since Melee did not report back that she failed, Al is unaware if Ram has been killed. This is the one reason why he asks Rem whether or not Ram is dead, because he's trying to find out whether or not his hit on Ram, his assassination attempt, was successful. This again is the reason why he's disgusted that Ram is alive in Arc 3. Now keep in mind, there's no other reason why Al would assume Ram would be dead. After all, Ram was alive in Arc 1. Al saw that she was alive. So why would he randomly assume that she will be dead a few weeks later? That's because he was the one behind the hit. And that is the theory of whether or not Al was the one that was behind the attack on Roswell's Manor during Arc 2. So let me know what you think of this theory.